Our story starts in Tampa, Florida in January of 2023. The NFL playoffs are just getting started and we are in the wild card round. In tonight's game, the Dallas Cowboys are facing off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the game won't be very close. Despite that, the almost 70,000 fans in the crowd and the millions more watching at home are about to bear witness to one of the most dramatic moments of this NFL season. It's a moment that is unexpected and vulnerable, and it's one that you cannot look away from. Now, the story of this game begins way back before this game even kicked off. On February 1st of 2022, the great Tom Brady announced his retirement from the league, sending shockwaves through the football and greater sports world. After a storied career of 22 seasons in the league that featured 3 MVPs, many NFL records, and 7 Lombardi trophies, Brady retired with likely the greatest resume of any NFL player in history. And then, a month and a half later, he was back. In a tweet, he wrote that he realized his place was still on the field and not in the stands. Unfinished business, LFG. TB12 was playing again, and so the Buccaneers front office sprung into action to put together a championship-caliber team around their star quarterback. Now we move our focus 1,000 miles west, and we arrive in Dallas, Texas. The Cowboys are coming off a 12-5 season in 2021 that ended with a disappointing playoff loss to the San Francisco 49ers, the eventual Super Bowl runners-up that season. As they prepared for the 2022 NFL season, the front office traded away four-time Pro Bowler Amari Cooper, but they were able to keep around defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence after some rocky trade negotiations. So, all this put together, the Dallas squad was looking solid. Now we can move into the 2022 NFL season. The opening game actually featured Dallas and Tampa Bay facing off against each other, with Brady's Buccaneers coming out on top. From there, though, the teams' paths diverged. Dallas won 6 of their next 7 games, with DeMarcus Lawrence in particular shining throughout this stretch, while Tampa Bay fell to a disappointing 3-5 record by the end of October. From there, a strong back half to the season earned the Cowboys a berth into the playoffs as the 5 seed, the strongest team to not win their division, as they finished behind the Philadelphia Eagles. Tampa Bay, on the other hand, also ended up in the playoffs, but as the weakest team to win their division. The 2022 NFC South was a contested division between 4 teams who were, simply put, not very good. For instance, at one point, all 4 teams in the division held a losing record at the same time. The Buccaneers were suffering from injuries to key players, but they were also simply just underperforming. They did get the honor of playing in the NFL's first ever regular season game to be held internationally in Munich, Germany, so that's pretty cool. As the season drew to a close, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers limped into the playoffs with a losing record of 8-9, and their opponents in the first round would be the Dallas Cowboys. To start this wildcard game, the teams traded 3 and outs, until Dallas quarterback Dak Prescott put together a few passes in combination with Tony Pollard's rushing, leading to a final pass finding Dalton Schultz in the end zone for a Cowboys touchdown. After this, the teams lined up for the extra points. The Cowboys went to kick it and, oh, the kicker missed it wide right. Okay. For an NFL kicker, missing any extra point after a touchdown is notable. It's a routine play, and you're kind of expected just to do it. Audiences only really remember when you miss the kick. In the past, NFL kickers were so dialed in that the league made the decision to move the extra point line back 13 yards, just to make it a little more interesting. In the 2014 season, the one right before the change, kickers across all teams missed only 8 kicks out of 1,230 attempts, an absurd 99.4% success rate. The move back did make the kick a little less automatic, with the kick rate in the years following averaging to a lower 93.8%. All that said, it's still very rare to see a missed extra point. However, not really a big deal for Dallas in this scenario. They still hold a 6-0 lead. Later on in the first quarter, Tom Brady led a long drive all the way to the Dallas 5-yard line. After the break between quarters, he lofted one into the end zone that was promptly intercepted. A crucial mistake, and Brady knew it. For the next 8 minutes of game time, the Cowboys slowly but surely pushed their way up the field, ending with a 4th down Prescott run for a big touchdown. The score was now 12-0 Dallas, and they had the chance to make it 13-0 with a quick extra point. which was then missed again.
Maher will try again on the extra point. And this kick, oh, he missed another one.
The Dallas Cowboys kicker's name is Brett Maher. In the regular season, he proved himself as one of the most reliable kickers in the league. He was 29 for 32 field goals, with 9 of those being made from the 50-yard line or farther. He was also 50 of 53 on extra points, with 2 of those being blocked by the other team, only 1 being an outright miss. Additionally, during the 2022 season, he set the Cowboys franchise record for most points scored in a single season with 137. This dude is no slouch. And yet, here we are. Brett Maher has missed 2 extra points in a row. Obviously, this sometimes happens in sports. Things can go wrong, and part of being an athlete is having the mentality to just move on. And so, we move on. The Cowboys continued their dominance of the Buccaneers in the first half. After a pair of passes to CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, the Cowboys were again threatening the Buccaneers' end zone. 2 plays later, Prescott found Schultz in the end zone for another Dallas touchdown and a commanding lead. Brett Maher comes onto the field for the extra point, lines it up, and shanks it to the left. At this point, we are getting into unfortunately historic territory. Only 9 other NFL kickers have missed 3 extra points in the same game, and all of those were during the regular season. The most extra points missed in a single playoff game was, to this point, 2. Maher was at 3, and it wasn't even halftime. Additionally, remember that Maher only missed 3 of these kicks during the entire regular season. Now he's missed 3 in one game on the biggest stage yet. Soon after this, the first half ended, and the Cowboys went to the locker room holding a dominating 18-0 lead. But that was not the interesting part of this game. News spread far and wide across the sports world about what was happening. Halftime shows watched the replays.
Oh my God.
Got to be kidding me.
I've never seen anything like it.
Why are we kicking it? Why are we kicking it?
What is going on? You can't believe it. Talk about a buzzkill.
Here for the NFC.
All right, come on, kick. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. Is that Brett Maher? Say, bro. I'm sorry, my bad.
NFL fans posted about it on online forums, and memes flew across the internet. Non-football fans even began to take notice and tune into the game. One thing was on everyone's mind. Surely it couldn't happen again. Maher was the first player to touch the ball next, kicking off to Tampa Bay to start the second half. A quick stop by the Cowboys defense put the ball back in Prescott's hands. After a bobbled catch from Schultz for a 26-yard gain and a long pass to CeeDee Lamb, the Cowboys were on the Tampa Bay 28. One Tony Pollard run later and they were in scoring position, which they quickly capitalized on for another touchdown. This was a beatdown. But who cares about that? We are watching this game for one thing and one thing only. All eyes turned to the television as Brett Maher walked up to kick the extra point. In sports, there are many instances where you need to do something kind of automatically. Muscle memory is a powerful thing, and it's the foundation for doing things like shooting a free throw, hitting a tennis serve, and your golf swing. When you practice something over and over, it becomes ingrained in you. And that's how you build that elite consistency that leads to elite performance. On the flip side of that coin, however, if you let overthinking get in the way, this muscle memory can so easily fall apart. So many of these athletic movements are intricate and precise, and if you move in a slightly different way or your muscles tighten up, those movements are not going to work. And you just keep trying and trying to figure it out, but the nerves have set in, so nothing is working. You often hear this referred to as the yips. Something that used to be so automatic is just not there anymore. Perhaps Maher felt the pressure of the moment. Perhaps he was thinking about how he missed the first 2 to the right and the third one to the left. Perhaps he was thinking about how he didn't want to go down as a playoff choker. Whatever the case, Brett Maher began his run-up.
And he has done it again.
In the grand scheme of things, these missed extra points didn't end up mattering. The Cowboys ended up winning this wildcard game 31-14 and moving on to the next round of the playoffs. Those 4 points that the Cowboys didn't get wouldn't have really affected the outcome of their game with Tampa Bay. And then in the next round, the Cowboys' playoff run promptly ended as they were dispatched again by the San Francisco 49ers, who then lost to the Eagles in the NFC Championship. This playoff game was, all things considered, unimportant. This game is notable for being the last one of Tom Brady's illustrious career, as he went on to actually retire shortly after the game. And had nothing else happened, we'd probably remember it for that reason. But even that milestone was overshadowed by the utter drama that was on display from the kicking spot.
Oh my goodness.
Just got the shanks a little bit.
Being an NFL kicker is a largely thankless and brutal job. You are mostly remembered for the times that you failed to do your job rather than the many, many times that you did. Kickers practice for thousands of hours, training the exact same motion again and again. Just kick the ball through the uprights. But if the nerves set in, it exposes just how fragile it all can be. And yet, you just need to go back out there and do it again. Brett Maher's entire career is a story of perseverance. He grew up in a small town in Nebraska, was an undrafted free agent, and spent 4 seasons in the CFL before signing with the Cowboys in 2018. After 2 seasons in Dallas, he then bounced around the league. Despite many teams releasing him, waiving his contract, just seemingly not wanting him, Maher kept coming back. And that's what landed him a spot again with the Cowboys in 2022, which is how we get to this playoff game in 2023. Perhaps in a storybook world, the Buccaneers would have launched a furious comeback to tie the game before Dallas needing Maher one last time to score that kick to win the game in overtime, and he would get his redemption. But no, this isn't a storybook moment, but it is a very human one. After a 5th Cowboys touchdown in the 4th quarter of the game, Maher came out to kick the extra point, yet again showing his perseverance. And on this 5th try of the game, he successfully kicked the extra point. Even though this single point was meaningless, it was kicked to the roaring applause of Dallas fans and the relief of everyone watching. We could finally look away.
Yeah, I was just trying to put a good, clean strike on it. Wasn't able to do that for too many in a row. So
what's the process now as you try and kind of rectify it before you just go?
Get back at it. I mean, hit some balls, have a great week of practice, get myself ready to go.
All eyes were on Brett Maher as he felt emotions and pains that we are all somewhat familiar with, but can never understand the severity of being subject to them while on such a grand stage as the NFL playoffs.
We're behind you, bro. You good? Appreciate you. You good, man. You good. You done bailed us out hell of a time. We with you, bro. I promise you, we with you.
It's tragic because Maher is a good kicker and he was having a great season, but we will all remember him for this one night. We couldn't look away as Maher missed a kick, and then another, and then another, and then another. He just kept coming back, trying again, and he just kept missing. His nerves kept winning out, and who doesn't know that feeling? And even though these 4 missed extra points didn't really affect the outcome of the match, and the game itself barely mattered, we watched. We watched as a man trying to kick extra points showed his perseverance, his vulnerability, and his humanity. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you should subscribe right here on YouTube for more sports content like it. For instance, I just made a video about some of the weirdest sports jersey designs in history. It was a really fun one to make, and you should go check it out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Boom, boom, boom. Got it.